morning, elementary, the sunshines. Good morning. We're going to start with our social study class for today. And today's goal. I did it perfect. Did you notice? Today's goal, we're working in the same one, right? Explaining the conflicts that caused the end of the Incas Empire. So, remember that we left the story on the born of this baby, right? That he was named Atahualpa. So, here's a legend I wanted to share with you from when Atahualpa was a kid. So one day he was taking a stroll outside, blah, 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 just walking around. And then he noticed this gorgeous guacamaya, very pretty. And he was astonished. He was like, wow, that is so pretty. So then, because it was so pretty, something inside of him felt like, ooh, I want to have that. It's so pretty. So he took some rocks out of the floor, from the floor, and he started throwing rocks, throwing rocks to the guacamaya. And then he hit the guacamaya, so eventually she fell down. And when he went to see her, she had died. He had hit her so hard that she actually died. So at that moment, he was a bit confused. He just took the animal and went to his mom. He went to the mom. And the mother told him, like, what happened? And he explained to her, like, it was so pretty, I wanted to have it. And then the mom told him this very important lesson. And he said to Atahualpa, remember, we don't ever hurt people or animals, ever. We only attack when we feel that we have to survive, when we feel we need to be protected. Other than that, we do not hurt anybody. And especially we don't hurt animals, because we are meant to take care of nature. We are meant to protect animals, not to hurt them. So in order to teach this lesson to Atahualpa and to make him remember forever, she took the feathers out of the guacamaya, some of the feathers, and then with the feathers, she built part of the crown that he had. So in order for him to remember, to always remember, to protect nature, to be nice and gentle, and to only attack whenever he felt he had to survive. So that's the legend of Atahualpa's crown. Isn't it gorgeous? Well, in the end, it's also a lesson for all of us, right? We have to take care of nature and protect animals. So remember we were talking about Huayna Capac. Well, Huayna Capac not only had Atahualpa as a son, he had actually some babies with some other women. So he was a father of another kids as well. So we have Atahualpa growing up, right? But we also have another of Huayna Capac's son, and his name is Huáscar. So Huáscar was born in Cusco with some other person that Huayna Capac was. And Atahualpa was born in Ecuador, right? Well, so in order to have a new Sapa Inca, what was expected is that the old Sapa Inca was the Sapa Inca was getting older, and when he was getting older, he will give the crown to the next Sapa Inca. So he will choose from all of his sons and daughters, and he will say, oh, he's the one. So he will give him the crown before he died, and he will name him the new Sapa Inca. And that was what was expected and what always happened. But Huayna Capac, unfortunately, he died before he was an old man. So his death was so shocking, nobody expected that once he died, nobody knew who was going to be the new Sapa Inca, who was going to have the crown. Because remember, Atahualpa was helping his dad in Ecuador, but Huáscar was helping his dad in Cusco. So both of them were kind of expecting it, but nobody was designated to be the new Sapa Inca. So everybody was very confused, and everybody was thinking, well, who's it going to be? Atahualpa, Huáscar, what's going to happen? Nobody knew. So when Atahualpa found out that Huayna Capac had died, he tried to reach Huáscar to agree on who was going to be the new Sapa Inca. But Huáscar and Atahualpa didn't really have the best relationship. and they both wanted to be the new Sapa Inca. So since they both wanted it, and Huayna Capac hadn't assigned anybody to be the new Sapa Inca, the fighting began. It was a very, very, very strong fight. And we're gonna see what happened in that fight right now. Okay, so the story begins right now. I have here Atahualpa, and I have Huáscar right here. So what happened, like I said, they were brothers, right? But they didn't really get along that well. So once they all knew about Huayna Capac's death, they start fighting over who was going to get the crown and be named the new Sapa Inca. So basically what happened is they start fighting. They were like, it's my crown. No, it's my crown. No, give it to me. I'm the Sapa Inca. No, I am. And they start fighting all over it. But Huayna Capac had been in Cusco a bit earlier. So that meant that Huáscar was in his territory. So when Atahualpa went to Cusco, he was alone because he just went to check on his father. So that gave Huáscar a lot of advantage because what he did is he called all his army and said, hey, join me, help me get Atahualpa. And they went, yeah, let's get Atahualpa. So they capture Atahualpa and they drag him into a jail that was designed for this, right? So they put Atahualpa on jail. And then they left. But when Atahualpa hadn't shown up in a while, of course, some other people were very worried because they thought, he just went to see his father. What happened? So some of his soldiers went looking for him. Now, Atahualpa told them that he had escaped from this jail because he asked the sun to free him. So the sun, the god sun, turned him into a snake, and that way he could escape from jail. That's what he told them. In the end, nobody knows what happened, but we do know that he did escape. He ran away from jail. So when he ran away from jail, of course, he was very angry, and he said, oh no, this is payback time. So he went back to Quito, to Ecuador, and when he went there, he talked to the army. And he said, hey, I need your help. I need you to help me kill Huáscar. And they were like, oh, yes, let's go. So they went back to Cusco. So in Cusco, we had a horrible war because we had all the army with Huáscar and all the army with Atahualpa, and they started the fight. I want to be the Sapa Inca. No, I am. And all that madness ended when finally, Atahualpa, he managed to kill Huáscar. So Huáscar, who is on the floor, let me get him. Huáscar, come here. Sorry. So Huáscar was killed. And Atahualpa was, of course, happy because he had finally killed Huáscar. So then he went back to Ecuador, he went back to Quito, and he was ready to be named the new Sapa Inca. So he was excited. He was on his ceremony, right? And he was like, yay, I'm going to be the new Sapa Inca. Chan, 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 chan. But when he was right there, he was named already the new Sapa Inca, and he was Sapa Inca for one day, then somebody came into the story. And you might know who this somebody could be, right? It was, so fast that yes, you know. It was a Chasqui. So the Chasqui came, and the Chasqui was so afraid. He was scared. He was like, oh my God, Sapa Inca, I have to tell you something. And Atahualpa was like, what? What's happening? He was like, I have to tell you something. He was like, okay, slow down. What is it? He's like, no, this is terrible. He was like, tell me already. And he was like, oh, okay. So I have seen the worst thing ever. And I saw from Mamacocha, who was the ocean, that they were coming. And he was like, who's coming? And then the Chasqui said, well, the metal gods, and they are very powerful, and they have fire coming out of their mouths, and they're gonna destroy all of us. You might know who these are already. Of course you do. Yes. So the Spanish had come to the Incas territories, and Atahualpa didn't know exactly what to do. So he called all his army in order to have an assembly and decide what were they going to do. Okay, so that was the story of Atahualpa and Huáscar fight over the crowd to be the new Sapa Inca. And it's terrible. Imagine two brothers willing to kill each other in order to be the new Sapa Inca. Well, that's when you want all the power and you can lose track of what's important. So don't let that happen to you, okay? So for today's class, what you're gonna do, you're gonna create 3 episodes for this part of the story. So it's up to you. What I've done in my sample notebook, I just added new pages to the story I was creating already. So I just added it and then I can put it back. If you want, you can add to what you've been working on, or you can also go to the next page and start all over again. That's gonna be up to you. So just remember, sweeties, that I love you and I can't wait to see you on your next social study class. Bye-bye, babies.